Hi guys, how's it going? This is Davin with Davin D Doodles, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I just want to say a very special thank you to everyone that has recently subscribed to the channel, whether you're here for the coloring or for the art or even both. I just wanted to give a sincere thank you for just taking the time to take a look at my channel, hit that subscribe button. I really hope you're enjoying the content and that you'll continue to enjoy it in the future. I never thought that I would hit 40 subscribers, and so I'm kind of blown away, but I really just wanted to say thank you so much. So it is technically going to be Saturday when you see this video, which means that it is an art day. It also unfortunately means that I don't have a new product or image or illustration or anything to show you, because my ambition got the better of me and it's very big. I am hoping to have it done for next week, or at the very least a small illustration to share. But for today I thought maybe it would be interesting to see a flip through of the sketchbook that I finished probably a month or two ago. I never showed it because there is some beginner level art in here and it's embarrassing. But at the same time, I think it's kind of interesting for people to see that not everything somebody does is going to be perfect. There's a lot of messy sketches, there's a lot of mistakes, there's a lot of cringeworthy stuff in this book. And not all of it ends up on social media or YouTube video or anything like that, but it's part of the process. It's part of how I got to where I am and where I'm going. So why not take a look and just show you everything? Keep that in mind, and please try not to laugh too hard at some of this stuff, okay? So this is actually a book that's probably taken me roughly 2 years to fill. This was actually started in September of 2018, which was a very hard time for me because of some life events that happened and were fairly traumatic. So I started to do Venom. I hope you're able to see him. Maybe I'll zoom you in a little. So this was my a time where I was doing more realistic art. So this was the very first page. This is my intention to color him with colored pencils. I am still very novice with colored pencils, but you can see I was kind of testing out the colors. I for some reason wanted to do blue for his skin and black. I've got some red and gray stuff going on for his tongue. And obviously it never got finished because I just never wanted to finish it. I was planning to draw a very detailed character, Hunk, from the Resident Evil series, which never ended up happening, so I just have a really rough sketch of him here. This, oh god, this was intended to be a goldfish, no, a betta fish, that I was going to like do watercolor for somebody. I was gonna use watercolor pencils, and then my cat stepped on it and it got dirty and I lost interest, and I don't know if you can see it. It's so light. So I'm hoping you guys aren't having too much trouble seeing these. This one should be okay. So again, I dabbled with realism for a really long time, and this was when I was just trying to get back into it. I don't know the dates because I didn't date anything in this book for a while. So this was my very first attempt at Keanu Reeves, and then I went down here and I had a much better looking John Wick kind of thing going on. And I always noticed, even with my older sketchbooks, that when I do realism, I go extremely dark. So when I start going back into that, I'm gonna have to work on doing values that don't darken everything so make it so extreme and so dark that you can't tell what's going on anymore. So this oh god, this picture. Ah! No, Keanu, no! Okay, sorry. This picture is something that I actually gave to my friend for her birthday. Was it her birthday? I think it was her birthday. We worked at the same place, and for some reason I think she wanted a picture, so I drew our guardian angels. They are enjoying coffee. I think hers is enjoying tea, mine is enjoying coffee, and they're just hanging out at a little cafe. Like, this was just the rough sketch and I liked it so much I made I traced it onto an actual picture and gave it to her. She actually went and got it framed. So, I mean, apparently she really liked it, and I'm kind of glad she did, because this was the first thing I had drawn in a really long time, and so I wasn't so terribly happy with it, and I was all you know, shy and all that. So this is just something I drew. Sorry to keep lifting you up. This is something I drew because I just wanted to practice with my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I never ended up doing it, obviously. Something I drew because I just wanted to practice with my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I never ended up doing it, obviously, but I got a really detailed, I guess it's like a dragon or a lizard eye. I was gonna go in and I never did. So a lot of this stuff is unfinished and it's just kind of here. It's the nature of it. This is like concept artwork for something. Someone came up to me asking me to start doing concept art because she was interested in having her children's story illustrated. And it was about a cute little crab, so I did some crab, I did some sea creatures. He has a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, I guess. And I really wish I had followed up on it. I never did. I was really, you know, self-conscious and just didn't think I could do it, which was kind of a shame because it was an opportunity I kind of missed. So this is, ooh, there we go, a really dark sketch, or a light sketch of Delson Rowe from Infamous Second Son, not Infamous 2, Infamous Second Son. I did a lot of doodling when I was at work and a lot of writing when I wasn't supposed to, and I drew the hands at work and I was like, oh, you know, this could be a character from a video game, so I put him in it, and I basically decided he was gonna have the big old backdrop, so I just referenced that and I copied pretty much everything, and I just added like the logo and stuff, which you can't even really see. Let's see. Will this work? That's much better. So yeah, you can kind of see the buildings back here. You can see him. It was something I intended, again, for colored pencils and never did. So I was really kind of ashamed, but it's life. This is where I also started getting really annoyed with the spiral bound being on the left side, since I'm left-handed, so I started flipping the book. You can see this is the colored pencil swatches I was doing, trying to figure out skin tones and what I could do, and I never really applied most of it. This was an idea for a drawing that I never finished. It's a headless horseman picking out his moods of pumpkins. Maybe I'll finish it for Halloween this year, but we'll see. This is so embarrassing. Okay, so I was trying to do part of my story. That is supposed to be Shen. That is not Shen. That is not what Shen looks like. Please ignore this part because it makes me cringe. But I really do like Seb here. This is Seb when he's first found in the swamp. He's got his hair all nasty in all kinds of ways, and he's reaching for something, all excited because he's never been to a market before. So my idea was to have a market surrounding them, him reaching for stuff, driving Shen crazy. And he looks probably a little too skeletal here, but it was a cute little drawing, and I really like how Seb came out and his expression. He's just so like expressive in this. And that's, this is so Seb. Like, come on. This was actually the first time I ever colored Duncan. First time I ever used my Ohuhu markers. And this was the original way he was supposed to look. He was supposed to have the really pasty white skin, and he was supposed to have like skin tone, like patches from where his koi pattern was. But I kind of ended up flipping that around. I didn't like the way he looked so pale and white. And now he's probably one of my tanner characters. This is another version of Shen where I'm still struggling with how Shen actually looks, by the way. This is him and his wife. You know, I drew it for Valentine's Day. I wanted something cute, so I made it pink. And it's like, at this stage, I really don't like how he looks. As someone mentioned, he looked like Ross, and now I really don't like how he looks because I am not a fan of Friends, and I will burn this picture before I ever say this is what Shen looks like. This is probably one of the better colored pencil drawings I've ever done. I just found a reference of a tiger on Pinterest and basically drew that, and I threw down some color. I could probably push it a lot more. I could do a lot more with blending, I'm sure. And if anybody has references or tutorials, you know, feel free to let me know what's going on and where I can find that stuff because I'd really like to get better. But this is actually fairly good. I'm happy with it. especially considering that was the first real time I had tried colored pencils. This took me like a week. This took me for freaking ever and used up a lot of my oranges and red. This is another picture of Seb. This is Seb dragging himself into like adulthood. Takes him a while to grow up and actually decide he wants to be an adult, so he's like literally dragging himself unwilling towards, you know, adulthood. Another concept that never came anywhere, never did anything. This is something you guys might recognize if you've been with the channel for a little bit. This is my first attempt at real fan art, and I love how this came out. Just Nemesis, the detail that I managed to get on him. I don't know if you guys can see like the little dots for shading. He's got gross gory lines, and poor Jill. Jill's just having a freaking bad day. I really love how this came out, and part of me wants to just put it in the computer and see if I can like digitally color it. But I also like the black and white line art. Like I think it's pretty solid, and this is the first time I remember drawing an actual environment and being like, this looks good. This looks pretty okay, you know, for my first try. This is just me testing color pencils, trying to figure out what skin, like how to make a skin tone so it's not just a cream color. This is me screwing around and drawing a chocobo so I could see how watercolor mixed with color pencils. Same thing here, I was trying to figure out patterns for like shirts, things like that if I used a watercolor base. This is also from the channel, and I started dating finally. This is from April 4th? No. Yeah, April 4th. So this is just Breath of the Wild fan art, Link shooting at a Lionel, and now that I look at it, it's not horrible, but I really try to push for a more dynamic pose. I would try to change things up a little bit and really make it look more fierce, more dramatic, and maybe that's something I'll do in the future, is try to redraw some of these images to improve them. That would be an interesting challenge, like a year later, try to redraw some of this art. This is another video, I believe, of something I was coloring. This is a chocobo with Douglas duck, and this is definitely an example of being able to push the color more, really layering pencils, things like that I just didn't do, but I felt really pressured with the time because I didn't want to bore people, and it was so long. So this is another color pencil attempt. This is Final Fantasy VII fan art, I think, for Sid. Again, same color pencil kind of issues, but I do kind of like that I was trying to play more with the pose and make him look a little bit cocky, make him look like you're looking a little bit more up at him or he's looking kind of down at you. So I don't mind it. I think the line art looks pretty good. The coloring could use some work. This was my first time ever using gouache. This is also a video on the channel. Yeah, it's Alice in Wonderland. It's vibrant, it's bright. What else can you say besides I needed to use a bigger brush and maybe control the water a little bit better, but you know, it was fun to do. Oh god, you guys. Sorry for the camera shake, but this irritates me. I hate showing bad stuff. Okay, so this is me trying to return to realism after taking a really long break from it. And this, I won't even tell you who it's supposed to be. If you figure it out, I'm sorry. And I even tried to do it on the page here, and it's just like, it wouldn't work, so I just gave up. And I was like, you know what? Cartoon time. So obviously I wasn't really feeling this either. Sometimes I feel stuck and like I have to do things. So this was just Chip and Dale going on an adventure. Tried to do like a dark background with bright popping colors, which maybe wasn't the best choice. I also at this point started trying to do like layers with shading and stuff, which you can barely tell with the flowers, but it was fun to do. Gouache is a really fun medium. It's a picture. It's good enough. This is one you guys might recognize as having been a watercolor at one point, and I saved the sketch because I was afraid I was going to mess up the original with watercolor, so I just did some lines, basically traced over it. Now I have the sketch if I ever want to do anything with black and white or with pencils or whatever. I have a spare. So that's in here. And this is where the transition actually kind of falls. This is where I started doing my alcohol markers a lot. So this is where you're going to see some progress and kind of some style coming through that's not been in the rest of the book. So this page is a little cringy for me, I will admit. Disney princesses, first time really using the Ohuhu markers. I finally got skin tones, so I was able to kind of do them. And I was pretty happy with it. Like, I really wanted to push myself to use different colors and all that stuff. And yeah, you know, the line art's not the best, but for a piece, it's big and it was done all in markers, so I was pretty okay with it. And this is where I really start to adore some of my pictures. So I kind of started splitting the pages here because I was trying to save paper. I love this top image. Love, love, love it. This was, I love the characters. I love there's a little bit of a story. I tried to play with light and I was extremely successful in my opinion. There's like light coming from the flashlight is lighting up Mick's face. It's lighting up Ben's face from his, you know, welding or whatever he's doing to the leg. There's kind of like a dark atmosphere and you could even see like shadows here. Like, I love this image. I love how the colors work together. I mean, even small details like dirty dishes and like clothes piled up on the floor. This kid's like 10 years old. Of course he's gonna have that stuff. And it just tells such a nice story. And I'm partial to these characters. I love them both to death. So of course I'm biased. This one is much less successful. But again, I was just trying to kind of keep in line with the characters. I wanted to get something done for the like the art challenge of the day kind of thing, and so I made a lot of mistakes with the colors. The line art's a little wonky, but you know, it's not terrible. It could be worse. And it's where I start to see kind of like my style kind of start getting pushed. Like, these guys do not look like the rest of the book, so I was really kind of happy to have them look different. So I'm happy with that. And I have these two images. This one just, this page. So this one I was pretty happy with color-wise. The only thing I wish I had done was maybe have someone kind of over in this area casting a light on them so that it wasn't so dark. You would be able to see better like the difference in their pants. Ben would be like so much brighter. The tree would be brighter so you could see the details of the bark better, but it tells a story. It kind of sets a mood with all the colors in here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I love the fact that the soldiers advancing on them are camouflaged very well, because I mean, it just kind of adds to the tension in my opinion. I'm really happy with this, and I really just love the colors. Like, I like the colors. This is the final one in the notebook technically, but I am going to go through and add a couple of loose leaf things so you can see those as well that were done in between these pages. So this is just the final page. Again, they've been kidnapped, they've been located by the invading armies, so they've been kind of like kidnapped or taken as prisoners, and they're together, you know, as they always usually are, and they're just kind of hanging out in a corner where Mick has finally fallen asleep because he's been up for basically days, and you've got Ben just kind of worrying about him. So this one just breaks my heart because there's a whole extra story behind it that I can't go into too much detail, and that kind of kills me. So there's some loose leaf stuff in here also. The first one is kind of just like a really relaxing image of my robot character kind of just hanging out, enjoying life. I really want to color this one. I think this would be a really cute coloring page. You've got him walking his fish. He's got a little fish in a bubble here too. I don't know why. A little alien in the background. That was a lot of fun to draw. So again, something I could color later maybe, but I really like these. So then I've also got the video picture from when I was drawing myself as a Pokemon trainer, and I was like surrounded by Sandshrew, because this is why I would be the worst Pokemon trainer ever. But Sandshrew is the most adorable Pokemon, and I would seriously just be giving them cuddles all day. There would be no battling. This is another picture. This is becoming one of my favorite characters to draw because he's easy, but he's got a big story that I can kind of tell with him also. So he's kind of wandering through a red desert. He's got his little alert beacon going off. I love the yellows that I used for his little coat. He's found a big giant alien worm with the big tusks and a nice starry sky. This was a lot of fun to do. I really wish I'd made videos of these. I think they would be fun, but this might just be something I make coloring pages out of, or, you know, stickers. I don't know. We'll find out. And this is where it gets a little sad. Apparently, past couple days of July, I was kind of sad because I drew this where he's like in a nice dark setting, and he's, you know, seeing that the robots were never finished being built and they're just kind of hanging there in a perpetual state of waiting. I really like the colors I used. You know, I tried to kind of convey that part of him was facing light, the other part was in the shadows. Maybe I was successful, maybe not. And then I have this illustration here where he was outside of this building up here, kind of looking down. He's been led here by his emergency beacon, and he sees the buildings all covered in sand, and he's kind of standing on a dramatic, maybe he's atop one of the dunes, dramatically looking down at the, you know, now lost city that was building these robots. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I like to think that even if they are a little bit more cartoony, there's been more of a definite shift in style. Maybe you can, I don't know, see improvement in the coloring, at least, kind of. I've been learning some lessons. The coloring books have definitely been helping me pick colors, see what works better, see what doesn't. But this is what I've got for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you don't mind a flip through every now and then, because sometimes my projects just get really, really big. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Let me know down in the comments what you think of everything. Did you like seeing the messy stuff that should never have seen the day, you know, the light of day? Did you like, you know, seeing mistakes happen? Do you prefer just seeing the good stuff and not having to listen to me drone on and on? Let me know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because I've got some big stuff coming, especially in October. Stuff that may be reminiscent of things you've seen in this book and maybe not. But it's definitely going to be spooky. So you should definitely ring the bell, hit the subscribe button, and check me out, because I've got some stuff coming that I think you guys might like no matter what phase of this book you enjoyed. So thank you so much. Have a good Saturday, and I hope you're having a good upcoming week. And everybody stay safe, and I will see you on Monday with some new coloring stuff.